I got into music from my parents. I was really lucky to grow up with very musical parents. My dad played bass guitar, and he still plays bass and sings in a band in Michigan to this day. So he taught me to play when I was real young, and I used to just sit in with his band. You know, whoever didn't show up to practice, I would take their spot. So that's how I learned a little drums and guitar and, you know, tambourine or, you know, bass, whatever I could pick up. I took piano lessons when I was younger. My mom made me take piano lessons, but I hated it and I quit, and I was like, not doing this, Mom, but now I'm really glad that she made me do it. So I learned a lot about soul music through hip hop music. I got really into hip hop and became a hip hop DJ and producer, and I learned a lot about soul music through my favorite rap songs, and digging for the samples to all my favorite DJ Premier and Pete Rock beats, and discovering all those amazing soul gems. It's hard bass lines and drums, and it's music from the soul. I met Peanut Butter Wolf, the president of Stones Throw Records, at a party in LA when I moved to Los Angeles from Detroit. And I wanted to make rap music. You know, I moved out to LA to make rap music, not soul music. I made these like soul music demos in my bedroom, but it wasn't anything that I released or wanted to put an album out. You know, it was just stuff that I made for sampling purposes, for making hip hop beats. But Peanut Butter Wolf heard these tracks, and he said, you know, I want to put this out. What do you think about recording a whole album for Stones Throw? And it honestly wasn't really what I wanted to do, but I said, you know, here's my opportunity to make a record for Stones Throw, which is a label that I really love and respect. And so I took that shot, and I thought, you know, I thought we would press 1,000 copies and it would be a little side project, and then I'd go back to making rap beats and DJing, but it just really connected with people, and it ended up being way bigger than anybody thought. You know, Peanut Butter Wolf had no idea that it would be this big. Absolutely, yeah, it was all about that heart-shaped record. The vinyl was huge, and you know, people were using it in magazine ads and commercials and things, and we thought, yeah, I mean, again, we thought we would only press 1,000 copies and that would be it, and we would be lucky to sell that many, but those first 1,000 copies sold out in 2 days off of the website alone. They didn't even make it to the stores. And you know, everybody was just like, holy shit, you know, what's going on right now? Nobody expected it, you know, not even the record label. Everybody was just in shock, you know. I really had to sort of dive headfirst into the deep end and like really figure this thing out as I went along, you know. So in the beginning, I didn't know anything about singing. I had never sang lead in anything before, and it was a difficult transition. But you know, just jumping in head first and doing 200 shows the first year, you learn real fast, and I'm getting the hang of it now. It's starting to feel comfortable. I named the new album How Do You Do because I felt like I really found my own unique sound on this record. It was sort of like a reintroduction to the real me, and it's a lot less derivative. You know, the first record was sort of, it was more formulaic. It was like, you know, let's make an album of you know, Motown soul, or records that I want to sample, you know. And this record was more about like a lot of the other musical influences that I grew up with. You know, I grew up in the 80s and 90s listening to mostly Public Enemy and NWA and the Smashing Pumpkins and Nirvana and stuff like that. So I don't even know what it was like in the heyday of soul music. I wasn't alive then in the 60s and 70s. So I take what I know and I combine it with what I've learned about soul music from the past, and then you smash it together and get Mayer Hawthorne. Hey, pop champagne. The D.O. double jizzle for shizzle. He's the coolest, man. He asked me what he had to do to get on my album, because he heard my music from one of his like studio engineers, played it for him, and he's just bugging out. And he called me on the phone. He calls everybody nephew, you know. He said, hey nephew, I'm really feeling what you're doing, you know, I want to know if you want to do a remix for me. And so I did a remix for him for his album, and then he asked me what he had to do to get on my record, and I said, well, I don't have any rapping on there, so you'd have to sing. But that was kind of a loaded answer because I had hung out with him, and I knew that he could sing because the whole time we were hanging out, he was singing classic soul records. He loves the Delphonics and the dramatics and the stylistics and all that great classic soul. So I knew he would knock it out the park, and he did. He crushed it. Yeah, I'm gonna DJ tonight. Yeah, I'm going back to my roots. I still consider myself a better DJ than a singer. So, you know, it's like DJing is second nature to me. This is what I grew up doing my whole life. So it's kind of my safety net, you know, my security blanket. It's like I could DJ all night with my eyes closed, and I really play everything under the sun. I never usually plan a set in advance. I like to, you know, I've never been here before. This is my first time ever in Singapore. This is my first time at the White Rabbit. So I like to just show up and feel out the crowd and the situation, and then go from there. And it's easy enough for me. I've been doing it long enough where I can really just go off of the crowd.
I wanna play with your body, softly, softly, and maybe we can get naughty. I'm so bossy, bossy.